Hello everybody, welcome. This is the guide on how to do Leon Scenario B on Hardcore S+. I showed you that first little bit here because I wanted to demonstrate, along with this screenshot, that this is what I walked into the final train fight with, and yet I used the RPG, I used the mag, and then I used the 2 shotgun shells, but I didn't use the other 28, so I still had 28 extra shotgun shells, plus obviously some gunpowder I could have used if I wanted to use my pistol and stuff. So I still had some ammo left for other stuff, but I digress. So I wanted to use this as a demonstration that, like, you're gonna see me make some mistakes because I was being extra conservative. That was completely unnecessary, specifically with the shotgun. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, right out of the gate, this run that you're watching, I failed the run. I'm not going to tell you by how much. I'm going to let you watch and see to the end, but you're going to see that I failed by so little because you have to beat it in under 2 hours. So even if you get 1 hour, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, you'll still get it. So you'll see by how little margin I screwed up. But that's kind of why I decided to upload this one is that the margin of error, so to speak, that I made was like so small that, like, if I made certain tweaks that we're going to go over, you could pretty fairly easily get your S+. You might be by a narrow thread. Like, I'm not a professional. I mean, I do enjoy Resident Evil. I've done other guides for Resident Evil 4 and stuff, but I'm not a professional. I always try to do it in the easiest way possible. I'm not trying to, do pro strats. It's like I might look up some tips and tricks to make it a little easier because you don't want to stress yourself out too much, but you get the idea. So this is to show you that you can do an S+ run. Because this is my very first... Okay, I take it back. This is my second attempt of doing S+ on Leon Scenario B. But to be fair, the first attempt, I stupidly, not paying attention, took way too much damage within 10 minutes. That I didn't even die, I just quit the run. So this is my second attempt. But I learned a lot from this attempt that will make it to where my third attempt will go smoothly, because I didn't die at all. Like, aside from the first attempt, which I quit, like I said, because I realized, yeah, I've already taken way too much damage. Heals are already going to be super sparse. It's, I set myself up for failure, basically. I just restarted. But anyway, yeah, you want to use the grenade here because you're going to have plenty of grenades to do the grenade strat for Mr. X, in the second, to last boss fight. So don't worry about that grenade, just use it. That guy on the stairs is a little bit RNG, like where these zombies will spawn when you go in there and get to the item box and get all that. That's going to be a touch RNG, because when I did my first run that, like I said, I decided to restart after 10 minutes, that zombie wasn't on the stairs, and I actually got a really good situation where I practically killed all of them in one grenade. Or at least enough that, like, you get the idea. So that is going to be a bit RNG. Do the best that you got. Like, if you take a hit, you take a hit. If you don't need to keep that grenade. You'll have plenty for the Mr. X boss fight, as you will see. So just go ahead and use it. But anyway, yeah, you want to board up that window, as you saw. And we are going to board up key windows that you can see now that we have access to certain wood panels and stuff earlier with the whole Scenario B layout. I would like to point out, just like with Scenario A, with my other guides with Claire and Leon, I do use the infinite knife, which you can unlock by just destroying all the Mr. Raccoons. That's all you need to do. It takes only 2 playthroughs to do that. 1 playthrough on any character on Scenario A, and then the second playthrough can be on the other character in Scenario B. So, because that's what I did. I'm playing on the Xbox Series S version of the game. And my previous 2 guides, where I did Scenario A and Claire and Leon, I was on PS4, I believe. So I'm just doing this on a different version of the game, but it's still the same, right? Yeah, I'm just using up all my handgun ammo because I have it, and I'm not going to be crafting any, so I might as well use it. Use what little resources you have to your advantage, right? So, Like I did say earlier, though, this run was a failure, but by a very small amount. And part of that can be contributed to, as you will see throughout this video, a number of instances where I went to my item box and realized that maybe, and then walked away and then realized I have to come back because I forgot something. Usually I remember pretty quickly, like after like maybe 15, not even 15 seconds, but still having to turn around and come back is a time waster, and do that a few times. I leave stuff in my inventory that I probably should have put away, and then I get to where I need to go and realize, oh, now I need to discard something, which usually is little things that aren't important. It ended up being fine, but still, that's time in the inventory that I ended up spending that, like I said, there's little things that kind of accumulated into me just barely failing. But these little things can be addressed, especially if you have better item management than I do. So, but the biggest thing, hence that little clip I showed at the beginning alongside that screenshot, the biggest thing is you can be liberal with your shotgun. You are allowed to do that. You have plenty of ammo to do that, as you will see when you watch the rest of these boss fights, because that is going to be your biggest time saver, is not needing to spend your infinite knife and be slashing everything. Like, I mean, yes, it does help, you know, early game when you're just starting, and, you know, conserve some of your, you know, high caliber ammo, and of course conserve some shotgun shells early game, and all that. Like it does help, but you still waste a lot of time. And again, this isn't like a speed run. This is just like trying to make this as easy as possible, even if you are in a bit of a time crunch. So memorizing your puzzles or doing what I did and have a spreadsheet with all the solutions that I can just look up and do at a moment's notice does help to keep your times down with the puzzle aspects. So, yeah. This is probably a moment that I could have actually saved some time, because I actually don't really use the shotgun until after the basement, like after G1. So just coming over here just to grab the pass, just to have to come back here later to get the mag, because we are getting the Magnum, was actually a waste of time, considering I didn't use the shotgun till much later. So if you're trying to follow it the way that I did, that would be a time save right there, is completely skipping what I just did, going up there and just going straight through and going to the next save area in the west side, you know, the photo room. So that right there was an area where we could have saved time. Like, I'm like this early game, and like I said, with the intention of trying to save as many high caliber rounds and shotgun shells as early as possible. I'm not considering right now me doing what I'm doing, going for headshots to ensure maximum damage, and if I do get a lucky crit, then fantastic, to kill them. But if not, then just being able to knife them instead of shooting them on the ground, or when we do get the shotgun here in a minute, resorting to just popping them in the head. You know, yeah.
Hello? Is anybody here?
So that's my methodology here, is just this first 20-30 minutes before we get to G1, my methodology, well actually my methodology was like that for pretty much the entire game, but I was a little too, you know, anal about it, if that makes sense. Like, I really didn't need to be that overly stingy on my shotgun shells with the amount I ended up saving with my knife strat early game. So you can do this just fine. So if you do have the infinite knife, just, you know, headshots. If you get a crit, fantastic. If not, when they fall down, just knife them until they stop moving. Yeah. We do have a board here, And we are going to use it since we, unlike in Scenario A, we actually have an opportunity to use this board before we get the club key to get into this photo room to get the lever to unlock the bookshelves, you know? So now that we have an extra board early game, we can go ahead and board this up to prevent us from having a zombie there. Because we are going to have to deal with the liquor, though, which is going to suck, but it is what it is. But at least that will prevent us from being grabbed and all that BS from a zombie. So we've made it, in a sense, a little easier on ourselves already, which is nice. Also, I did watch Carcinogen because he was the guy, just like with my Claire and Leon Scenario A stuff. If you watch those earlier videos, which were much lower quality than this, I would argue, especially with the fact that I wasn't using any filters or noise gates when I did my post commentary, which was dumb, and I was a little sick, so I'm sure you could hear my nose because I rewatched it quite a while ago and went, oh yeah, maybe I should redo those. And that was part of the reason why I want to do these guides, was like, it was like those guides are already up and we all start somewhere, you know, but I figured I could do a new guide on the second scenarios because I was kind of just in the mood for it, you know. But anyway, in Carcinogen's guide, he tried to leave as many zombies untouched as possible, which I remember, if I remember correctly, in the video that I watched, the console strats video, where he did no save, no damage, he left some zombies. I think he left a zombie or two in this room untouched, which later in the game he basically wasn't able to use this as a way to get around, because obviously ammo conservation's a big deal, especially later in the game with the bigger boss fights coming up. As where I just, you know, took a couple shots to the head and then just, you know, sliced him and made this room completely safe. So that's what I tried to do, is I tried to make, to the best of my ability, a lot of the areas that I know due to pathing and stuff that I could potentially revisit, especially depending on where Mr. X spawns and forces me to go. Having these extra pathways to ensure quickness is obviously very nice. So I was trying to make all these rooms that I came across as safe as possible. Yeah. And now we got some extra hip pouches. We're only gonna be getting one other hip pouch in this failed run, which you technically don't have to do. But I would... Well, actually, to be honest, you don't have to do it, because when you consider the amount of ammo that we use for the Super Tyrant fight, and the train fight, and the, just how the fights work out, we end up having enough space with just this to bring what we need. Like, you don't really need, because like for the Super Tyrant fight, you just need the mag and maybe with a little extra ammo, and then like 9 grenades and at least 1 flashbang. Like if you have like 9 hand grenades, which you will get, the Magnum, and at least 1 flashbang to stun him when the RPG spawns, then you should be fine. Because like I said, like you can be more liberal with the shotgun than what you're going to see because of what I showed you earlier. But obviously, if you end up using the Magnum a bit more than I did, you want to make sure that if you end up walking into the final, you know, train fight with less Magnum ammo, that you can make up for it with the shotgun too. So there is a delicate balance there. So you can be a bit more liberal. And I highly doubt you guys will be so liberal enough to where you're going to screw yourselves. I think you guys will be plenty fine, especially if you follow the first, you know, little bit here.
Fucking hell.
I hate this pistol because because compared to the Matilda, it feels like that pistol's super hard to aim. Yeah. And here's a mistake that I made, because I wanted to knife him, but even though I looked right at my inventory when I grabbed the knife, I just stupidly forgot to equip it. Don't do that. If you're in a situation where you stab the, not zombies with your infinite knife in a defensive way, make sure when you grab it to re-equip it, especially if you have, like, flashbangs. Like, it only takes a second to, like, double check and just ask yourself, wait a minute, hold on a sec, you know what I mean? And I'm really bad about doing that, like, in the moment, especially when I have that time rush. But try not to do that, because then you end up wasting resources. Because, like, granted, I ended up not needing that flashbang. I think I walked into the Super Tyrant fight with only 2 flashbangs. So I used 1 flashbang to stun him, and then the other 9 hand grenades, and then use the final flashbang when the RPG spawns. And we are going to be using a fully upgraded Magnum when we get to that fight, so which is capable of stunning him. So if he goes into that little rage where he's about to start charging you and doing the whole like insta-kill bullshit that always annoyed me in, you know, Scenario A guide that I did, you can still stun him if you shoot him in the head and maybe even the heart, especially if you get a focus shot. So you have ways around that if you don't have any flashbangs. Unlike with the shotgun, where it seemed like it was impossible and you really needed to rely on those flash grenades, and your hand grenades to keep him in a stun lock for as long as possible, while still saving that final flashbang for the RPG. Which is why Scenario A was a lot harder, I felt like. Scenario B, even though you have a half hour less time, you know, to get through it, the resources you get for some of these fights really do feel like it's a lot easier. It really does. Like, well and truly. Yeah, a lot of the strats for the boss fights will largely be relatively similar in Scenario B. Like, the G1 fight will be a little bit different because now that we have access to the mag and the high-powered barrel for it or whatever, we'll be using the mag a little bit. I mainly, because I have the infinite knife, tried to use the mag to stun him and like pop his eye, and I try my best not to miss any shots and get focus shots, but we all know how slow the mag is with the focus shots. So, that being said, using the mag for the first fight to stun him and then knife him when you can to do additional damage and hopefully save at least a shot or two. And then maybe if you get to a point where you've shot him a few times, you can go back to your high caliber rounds, because I did finish him with the high caliber rounds. So that is something that you can do. Like, at the very least, using the Magnum to at least weaken him a bit is advised, because you will get like I said, you will get plenty of mag ammo for the stuff that we're gonna do. I mean, we walked into, like I said, the final train fight with 7 mag shots plus, you know, the RPG round, and then like what, 30 shotgun shells, because if I remember correctly, it was 28 that I had, and then I had 2 in the chamber. So 30 shotgun shells, and I only needed 2 of those. So like I said, you can be, within a slight reason, a bit more liberal with your Magnum too, but you still want to prioritize your Magnum for the boss fights.
Shit.
So just, again, keep that in mind. But again, we're going this way because, like, we don't want to go into the stars hallway. Because obviously, since we already have the valve, we could go right there and go get the battery and stuff. But we don't want to do that because, like, the goal is we want to try and clear out the RPD as fast as we can before we spawn Mr. X. Because obviously, as soon as we go down that hallway in Scenario B, he's going to spawn. So we don't want to go to the stars office until it's that's like the absolute last thing we need to do. So try your best with your inventory management to clear out everything that you possibly can, and try not to make too many trips to the item box, obviously, preferably none, but just grab all the stuff that you can. You know, you can grab that there to free up some space, and yeah, killing this guy is obviously kind of advised before he wakes up when you trigger the... Yeah, we got a crit, nice. Anyway, so yeah, just clear everything out the best that you can. Okay, the library. Here was my biggest fuck up, was right here. Absolute biggest fuck up, because I forgot to set up the library shelves, which really screwed me. I completely forgot to set them up in a way where all I had to do when I got the little crank or whatever was just move them once and I'm ready to go. Like, I completely forgot to do that. I got caught up in thinking about everything else, that when it finally came down to it here in about 20 minutes or so, or something like that, when I finally do get the little crank for it to lower that bookshelf, Mr. X was on my ass. So I had to move, and I didn't have enough time to move him, and then he hit me and did damage that was easily avoidable had I prepared. And then I had to run into the STARS office and let him pass, and then come back, finish moving him, and to get to the 3rd floor. So I wasted a bunch of time there. So move those library books, and honestly, just kill all the zombies. You're already there, and if you get a lucky crit, fantastic. If not, again, you have a knife. It'll only take you an extra second, and just the time you will save just from doing that and setting up those, just from setting up the bookshelves to where Mr. X won't force you to run away like he did with me, which was probably easily at least 30 seconds to a minute at least wasted, you know, between traveling to the STARS office then back and having to wait. Yeah, you know, the time it'll probably take you to kill those zombies with the knife right now, it will probably offset that. Like, you might waste ever so I don't think you'd waste any time. I think you would still, even with the time it takes to do that, will still be gaining at least a little bit. 10 seconds or so at least. That's just an arbitrary number I threw out, but you get the point. I'm confident you would end up still having some time saved despite the time it would take you to knife all those zombies. Because you got the sleeping zombie, well, actually, like, the zombie that triggers that's sleeping right next to the door, that to the main hall from the library, he only really triggers if you get right next to him, or if you go through that little nook between the bookshelves, right, to get to the, you know, jack. I called it crank earlier, I think, but whatever. The jack. Like, you can leave him be, because the time it takes for him to get up and everything, like, he won't be close enough to you by the time, if you set up the bookshelves properly when you come back there later. You can just run through the door from the main hall to the library, run right past him, and as he's getting up, you know, use the jack, and then move the books, and then climb up the ladder. And the other zombie that's, you know, eating that dude won't trigger and move to attack you until you climb up the ladder. So that's 2 zombies that you can basically completely avoid wasting time on killing and ammo if you, the one by the door, avoid him and stay as far away as you can. Like, you can still avoid triggering, like you saw here a little bit ago, if you hug to the right when leaving the library, or when you're coming into the library from that door, hugging the left. Just hug the side furthest away from him as close as you can, and you will avoid triggering him. It's actually not that hard. So, hey, Mr. X, how you doing?
Jesus Christ!
So that zombie you can avoid, and if you avoid climbing the ladder, you can avoid triggering the one eating. So you only have to worry about the other zombies, which again, won't take that long to kill, which is why I'm saying that how I handled the library this early in the game was probably my biggest flaw that led to me barely missing my S+. It was very bad. And you'll see that here in a little bit, how that comes into play when we get back from the basement and whatnot. But I seriously cannot emphasize this enough. I've probably said it multiple times, but that is literally how much I'm emphasizing it. That is probably the biggest mistake that I made. And it barely cost me my run, and I mean barely. So, I just want that to be known. Anyway, hold on. I'm gonna do a quick text. Yeah, there we go. Anyway. But anyway, yeah, if you forget to move the bookshelves and do the zombie things when you come there the first time doing the path that we took, you're gonna come here again because going through the STARS office and whatnot, right? So you have 2 opportunities to remember to do the bookshelves. As you can see, I still forgot. So again, biggest mistake. So right there, there's 2 mistakes that I did very early game. I don't use the shotgun early enough to justify going up there, getting the shotgun pass just to grab it. So it probably would have been time-wise, even if I missed like a green herb or something that I probably didn't need. Like, you know, just skipping that whole area and just going from spawn, from the outside, you know, through the east area and going straight to the west area and just, yeah, and then grabbing the stone and the shotgun pass together would have been better. And then combine that with setting the library up, which I'm still failing to do. That would have saved me at least a minute, which is literally all that I need. It's all I needed. An extra minute that I would have saved literally would have been enough to get me my S+. That is how small the margin was. And what I mean by I barely fucked up. Yeah, see that zombie, you saw me immediately go to hug the wall because I went, yep, I don't want to trigger him. So yeah. Kind of my point. Anyway, so that's 2 real big mistakes that we've made already. And alright, from here, when you activate the elevator and get on it, Mr. X despawns. So now we can go and do whatever else that we need to do, which by this point, you shouldn't really have anything to do, because we do have a time crunch. Like, you grabbed everything you could, the best that you could, without going and doing too many detours, right? So, here's the thing, is that you can either do what I'm about to do and go get the high-powered mag, and then come right back up, because we're about to go kill a licker. Because obviously there's going to be lickers when we go and get the club key to go get the jack handle for the bookcase, right? You know, or the bookshelf, whatever, you know what I mean? So, and because there's going to be lickers there, like, there is a way that I ended up failing to do, where you can kill the licker we're about to go kill, and then later, when you need to go through that hallway, you can basically make the other licker there despawn. Or at least move to the other part of the hallway where he can't hear you. I'm pretty sure that that's what Carcinogen did, but I ended up screwing it up probably because I wasn't paying attention. And to be fair, when I did this entire run, I was listening to stand-up comedy in the background on my headset. I had like Google open and was YouTube open and was just listening to stuff. So that's also probably part of it, is I probably just didn't realize that, oh, the cue that I needed, which was didn't trigger or whatever. But either way, you can either go down there and grab the high powered thing, or you can just bypass that and grab it before you go into the boss fight. But either way, if you're wanting to follow it like this, you need to come over here and kill the liquor. Just don't miss like I did. I'm not that good of a shot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed him right there. Yeah, I missed one shot, which was easily avoidable, and it would have taken you even more shots if you, I mean, at least one or two more, I think. Possibly even 3. But I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't have been extra. But again, ammo conservation with the mag, especially when you know you're going to go right into this boss fight here and use the mag, is obviously important. And like I said, with the mistakes that I'm going to go over, you should still be able to get your S+ if you fix the mistakes that you're going to see me make pretty easily. Again, you will still be at a pretty severe time crunch. You still need to be quick, but like, you're not going to have 20 minutes in spare time like Carcinogen did, where I think he had like 24 when I watched his guide. He had 24 minutes. Like, yours will probably be closer to 5 if you do it the way that I'm doing it and fix the mistakes that I made. But you can still do it. And you will save more ammo than he did, because you won't be using so much ammo so early with like the shotgun and stuff. So anyways, in different methodologies in order to get to the end game, right? But yeah, now infinite knife, just knife him the best I can, do as much damage as you can.
No choice. Gotta take it down.
If I knew that shot was going to stun him, I probably could have, you know, knifed him at least once or twice more and did a little bit extra damage, but I didn't. Yeah. I ran too far away from him. At least I think that's what the trigger is, like when he basically despawns and does crap like this. Like, if you stay close enough to where he's on you, in theory you should be okay. That was a mistake right there. I should have known not to go for the knife, but I didn't. Yeah, I'm going for as much knife attacks as I possibly can to conserve ammo. But I'm also trying not to get hit. It looked like he missed me, but hitboxes are weird. And hey, and it's okay to go ahead and it's okay to go ahead and just, well, yeah, this would have been a good time for me to use my knife, but I used it as a defensive item. And I'm pretty sure, oh wait, no, I didn't. I was gonna say, yeah, because I don't think I picked up a single knife throughout this entire run. And okay, no, I take that back. I picked up one, but it would have been a good idea to bring a knife into this fight, just so that way you could use that to save yourself and then still be able to knife him if it stuns him. But it doesn't matter. If worst case scenario comes to where you need to use it, again, you have a mag and you have your pistol here, which, there you go.
Somebody's watching me.
So like that. And then your infinite knife should spawn at the base of the ladder. because now you've killed the boss, and obviously I think it would be kind of shitty if they were like, oh, it fell with him, you know, and all that, you know. So yeah, so now we got our infinite knife back, which is good. We still have some mag ammo, which is good, and we still have quite a bit of high powered ammo, which is going to be good for the dogs. But we're getting really close to where we need to start using the shotgun. Like once we leave the basement, that's a good time to use the shotgun, because all the time I spent wasting on the infinite knife is now unnecessary. Because there's going to be zombies that spawn when we get out of the basement. Like, anyone who's played this game, you know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, we're going to have some zombies in the east storage room when we get the gear. And then there's going to be, like, some zombies that are going to be up on the 3rd floor. But like I said, if you know what you're doing and you know how to use the shotgun, it should be relatively easy to get one-shot headshots. Worst case scenario, if it comes down to it, you bring your high caliber pistol, shoot them in the leg a few times until they get knocked on their ass, and then you shoot them in the face instead of knifing them. Either way, you're going to be saving time, but I'm confident in you guys that most of you can probably get headshots without being grabbed and without needing to waste your pistol ammo. Which obviously, if you can't do it that way, would end up saving more time if you're efficient with that. So not this item box, but the next item box, we definitely need to use the shotgun fairly liberally. Because there's no reason for you as of now, because there's so little zombies, because we took our time in the first section of RPD to knife and kill everything and save our pistol ammo, because it's going to be nice to use them for the dogs and whatnot, you know what I mean? So, and also it's going to come in handy when we have to deal with the mistake that you're going to see when we turn the power back on here. Like, we'll get there when we get there. But like I said, if my memory serves, after using the ammo that we did on the train that you saw in the clip, we should still have about 28 shotgun shells extra left over that you can use to spread out through the rest of RPD and the sewers and all that. So like I said, you can be a bit liberal, it's okay. So yeah, so for the zombies, use the shotgun. For the dogs, the ones in the cage, you're about to see me use the pistol, and then the ones that are not in the cage, I try to use the knife, because it only takes, I think, like 2 or 3 hits, maybe 4. But it takes about 3 to 4 hits anyway to kill the dogs with the pistols, and it's about the same with the knife. And honestly, if you see what you're about to see with me doing it the way that I'm doing, you can easily knife them, and each knife hit basically stuns them. So you should be able to pretty easily, you know, kill them with the infinite knife here. This is all. You may or may not need to consider this as a minor mistake with my inventory management, because I ended up not grabbing the electronic part. I had to come back and get it later. So if you really wanted to, before we trigger turning the power on where the other dogs spawn, this probably would be a good time right now to leave. And maybe not right this second, but yeah. Also, since we're not grabbing the diamond key, at all, none of those zombies in that room are going to trigger. So you should be able to just grab the red herb and the flashbang and get out. And instead of doing what I did and opening this and then going back, which was a time waster when I was going to do it anyway, I knew that I was going to. So how I did this was a time waster. Just come in here first if you're going to do it at all. Which I recommend, because, you know, you do need the flashbang. So But yeah, see, so now it probably would have just been a good idea to just go ahead and take that time to just go to the item box down in the sewers. Because honestly, that's arguably faster than doing what I did and having to come back here later anyway. Well, maybe not. I don't know because of the ladder. Again, it's your personal preference. You can either just come back down here later, like I did, or you can just go ahead and see if it's faster to go to the item box down in the sewers, store some stuff, come back here and grab it. But either way, you're basically going to have to make a second trip.
Son of a bitch.
I wasted ammo here, but that's fine. I thought he was dead. So, anyway, it just depends on your personal preference. But you will have to come back here again if you decided to fill up on everything like I did. Yeah, he was already on the ground, it looked like, so I don't know how I got that achievement, but you know. But yeah, I walked there with my back out, and then I just start knifing away. You see, about 4 hits will kill him. 4 successful hits, anyway. And this one, because of how fast he is, like, I hit him right as his animation started, which basically didn't stun him. He still took damage, I saw the blood spatter. But, yeah, it's a thing. So that dog right there, it might have just been better to use your pistol to get a guaranteed stun on him, and hopefully it would stun lock him enough with the fire rate to where, yeah, because that I probably wasted a little bit of time, and you're going to have extra pistol ammo left over at the end game anyway. So, and like I said, this is the point where we need to start using our shotgun, which I did not do. It should have just been shotgun and headshots, but I decided to keep committing to the pistol and the infinite knife. Yeah. This is the point where you don't do that. Like the zombies that are around the corner from the save room, shotgun. The zombies that are going to be in the storage room, shotgun. The zombies in the 3rd floor, shotgun. Like, again, even if you mess up royally, you know, and then of course the ones in the sewer, shotgun. Like again, you shouldn't mess up enough. Oh yeah, but then we do have Nest as well. So yeah, I got a crit there, which was good. Yeah. Yeah, that guy probably should have just used a shotgun, like, just because it would have been easy because he's focused on eating to just line it up and pow. But yeah, the east storage room, there's like 2 or 3 zombies in there. Can take those out easily, and then the only other zombies that we really need to worry about are on the 3rd floor. Unless the ones here are alive, if you did what I said and just skip coming here till later when you go to get the stone, to get the mag, to get the shotgun pass. So maybe if they're alive, you might have to deal with them, but I don't know if they despawn or not. But yeah, just be prepared for that. But if you decide to use your pistol on the zombies that I just did up front, I would definitely advise you use your shotgun from this point forward. Because there's 2 zombies up here. Maybe, I think 2 or 3. I think you can leave one in there alive because of where he spawns and how he is, if there is a 3rd one in the East storage room. Yeah. And we're gonna block the window down here. We're gonna completely block it. This was me being an idiot, is what that was. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was just me being stupid and wasting time. So. But yeah, using the shotgun for the 2 or 3 guys, or well, 2 of them at least, because there should be enough heals where, especially if you start using the shotgun a bit more liberally, there should be enough heals to where if you leave one alive in there and you take a hit, you can just heal and you'll be okay. But definitely I would say take 2 of them out. Because I find it's faster to go through the East storage room and go down the stairs when you get the other electronic part than to go back to the library, fall down, and then come out, and then walk, and then go down the stairs. And I feel like it's faster to go to the East storage room. So since we're going to be coming back in through here later, it makes sense to clear it. And like I said, that would have been a good opportunity for a shotgun. Yeah, he's behind the door, and I'm just being stupid. Yeah. So like I said, I took damage anyway, and I still went through the run just fine. That's what I'm saying, is if there is a third one in there, there's probably on the other side of the corner, then you can just go ahead and deal with them, but I'm pretty sure there's only 2. But yeah, shotgun would have saved so much time right here. And then the time I spent knifing the other 2 when I go to get the club key and whatnot also would have saved, yeah, the shotgun alone would have saved a bunch of time. More than enough that I needed to get my S+. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. On top of fixing these other mistakes like the library thing and all that. Like, that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that like, even with these fuck-ups, I only barely missed the S+. Only just. So you fix these things and it'll be perfectly fine, and I'm trying to prove that. So yeah, so the 2 zombies that are going to spawn when we get to the club key, because of that little animation with them opening the door, you'd have a perfect chance while they're still doing their thing to get right up on that door and pop 2 headshots. And unless something goes really wrong or it bugs out, it's very unlikely you'll get grabbed. Because it's not like the zombie behind this first one is going to be able to walk through them. So if you had a shotgun right now, you could aim it, get right up to the door, and just pop right in the face and kill them both in 2 shots. Rather than doing what I did and having to waste all this ammo trying to knife them. Yeah. A lot of knifing. Yep. Yeah, see, wasting time going back into, like, inventories because it all amounted to me remembering, wait a minute, there's a red herb that I'm gonna get when right before triggering Mr. X, and then I was like, okay, I can just bring a green herb and make a GR, but then I remembered, wait a minute, there's a green herb I didn't pick up along the hallway, because I'm gonna go down the stairs. And it's right there, so I just wasted a bunch of time knowing that I can easily pick up a heal and I didn't need to bring one, because then I would create another one and waste inventory slots. So So yeah, that was just me wasting a bunch of time when in reality I should have just kept all my heals away because then I can just because I'm about to craft one. So yeah, I wasted a little bit of time there, which was unfortunate. Yeah, just walking around Mr. X pretty easy. Yep, case in point. Now we got everything that we need to just go straight for the jack and then with the jack lever and then up to the library. And this is, and so now you're about to see exactly what I'm talking about when I mean my big mistake with the library and setting that up. And you're about to see my mistake with the liquor, because I was under the impression that if I walk in and then walk out, the liquor will despawn. But I needed to wait a bit longer than I did, because he's still aggroed for a minute. And if I waited a bit, he probably would have went to the other side of the hallway, and that was my mistake. But thankfully, I had a heal. And when I went into this room, the time it took me to like grab everything and whatnot, he stopped being aggroed and he basically vanished. So yeah, if I just waited a bit longer, I would have been fine. But I don't think it would have mattered because Mr. X was on my ass anyway. Alright, so now where the big mistake happens. Like all the other small mistakes that I made, this is probably the single biggest one. Oh, I'm getting a call. Alright, my call is done. Thank God for editing, right? But see, this is what I mean. Right here. Yeah, see, like, all that time I have now wasted just having to come back here rather than just put the jack in, move it once, and be up the ladder before he gets to me. Just, yeah, this is exactly what I meant. Which, I mean, because it wasn't entirely bad. I mean, it gives me a chance to come back here and grab this stuff. Which is part of the reason why I had as many shotgun shells as I did, was coming back to grab those. But then again, if you really need the resources, you could always come back here anyway. Well, the thing is actually no, because we're going to be coming back to the STARS office later when we go and get the laser sight for the mag. So you'll get those shotgun shells in that herb anyway. So you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I missed out on some ammo that's right over there in that corner, right corner. But I think it was just high caliber rounds that we didn't really need. So. Yeah. Yeah, thank God that this room's a safe room, so I didn't have to worry about him grabbing me. Yeah, we realistically didn't really need to come back here either, because I don't use this gunpowder at all. So you probably could get away with it if you know. So again, that's a little bit of a time save there.
Hope I don't have to write a report on this.
Yep. So now we're going back down to the basement where we're gonna have to go and you'll see my next crucial mistake. Well, I shouldn't say crucial per se, but you'll see. Which the shotgun would have very much helped. Yeah, aiming... I don't know how many of you guys watching this know about that trick when you're going up and down the stairs, like repeatedly spamming the aim button to kind of get that initial kickoff boost. When you first go up the stairs, like, yeah, it's supposed to make you go down faster. Yeah. Just like the other videos, I do pause a lot, purely because, you know, I'm constantly checking the time to see where I'm at and how rushed I need to be. Yeah. Then I can get rid of the key, get rid of all that stuff. I should have kept the shotgun shells in the shotgun and probably done away with the pistol, but oh well. Flashbang, which is going to come in handy for what you'll see. And oh no, I do bring the shotgun. Did I? So I brought the shotgun just to not use it. Great. Okay. Fantastic. Makes me feel even stupider. Anyway, but now, like I said earlier, now we gotta go back and go get the other electronic part. Which we probably, if we had a little bit better inventory management, we probably could have completely skipped all this and wouldn't have to go back for it, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, like I said, the mistakes that I'm telling you guys to fix should be more than enough for you to follow this guide damn near verbatim, provided you make the fixes I suggest, and still be able to get an S+. Yeah, these, to be honest, I think I got lucky. I feel like most people don't actually, you know, let the dogs live like I just did. I was confident I was going to survive because, like, I had heals on me. I didn't think they were going to one-tap me, but they can be a run killer if you're not careful. And since we haven't saved yet, that would have sucked. But I was confident. But if you guys are not confident, then you might have to take some time to take out the dogs. But I wouldn't recommend it because you should have enough heals to survive with the strats at hand. So it's probably better to just take the hit and run. Since they're going to despawn once we trigger this anyway, and that's just probably more ammo wasted than anything. And I just realized that I did not edit out this pause screen right here. Whoops. Oh well. Gives you guys a thorough chance to see where we're at on time, though.
What are they after?
Yep, this should have been where I equipped my shotgun. And you'll see this here in a second. I'm gonna try and loot Mr. X so I can get around him.
Give me a break.
And in my infinite wisdom, a zombie pops around this corner, and I didn't think to whip out the shotgun or just take a chance to avoid him. I kind of got panicked and was about to die. And thankfully I paused just in time, because this would have been a run killer. This was a massive error that I should not have made. But right here, throw the flashbang. I stunned all three of them, and I think Mr. X behind me, and I can get through. So if you had the shotgun equipped, or unless you felt confident enough you could get around that zombie without being grabbed, you could have gotten through that much better than I did, and saved probably a little bit of time, probably like 2-3 seconds or something, but still, it adds up. Especially when you see how little the margin was at the end, you'll see. But with that, we are now on our way to the sewers. And if you still have been... like, we're at the point now where you should basically be using your shotgun and or your magnum exclusively. Well, your shotgun primarily. You should only be really using the mag for boss fights.
Is that the intel?
And unfortunately, no.
The G babies when you go to get the king and queen plug, those little G things, and you'll see. But that's about it. But we're at the point now where, you know, if you haven't already been using your shotgun liberally, which you probably could have, you know, after the basement, you are now well and truly in territory where you can just kind of use it as long as you're getting headshots. Like, you still need to be conservative with your ammo, but again, if you're going for headshots, one shot per enemy, you'll be fine.
What a mess.
Especially now that we can get headshots more consistently now that we have this upgrade, and then we're going to get the other shotgun upgrade here in the sewers pretty quickly.
Heard of the Umbrella Corporation? They're a pharmaceutical company secretly making bioweapons. They have a virus. It turns people into indestructible monsters.
That explains the horrible things I've seen.
And that's why I'm looking for Annette Birkin. She's the one at Umbrella responsible for unleashing the virus. I'm going to bring this as how we get to Annette.
Based on what you've said, the sewer seems fitting.
Well said. After you.
Gee, thanks. Can't imagine a real scientist being down here.
According to HQ, this leads right into Umbrella's secret facility.
Come on. Sewers are run by the city. How could they have a facility without the authorities knowing?
Welcome to corporate America. Umbrella's controlled Raccoon City for years.
Jesus! That an earthquake?
Alligator!
What the hell?
Yeah, here's where I wasted a little bit of time too. Just messing around with the item box. Not a ton of time, but, you know. Yep. Yeah, I realized I'm still in danger and was like, wait a minute, I might as well just heal myself, because that would make sense. And grab one of the other ones that I had, so, again, time wasting. I didn't...
Again?
Yeah, by the way, you only need to grab 2 ink ribbons, because obviously on your S+, you're only allowed to save 3 times.
Stuck with me to the end.
And the way that I do it is I save at G2, G3, and then and since this is Leon, Super Tyrant. So I do like everything up to G2 in one go. Because G1 is a very easy boss fight, and as you've seen like with the Infinite Knife and stuff, and if you're careful, patient, and you trust yourself that you're good at the game, it's actually very easy to get through the first section. It's not that hard. So that's what I do. So, and you get your final ink ribbon at the last save before, again in this case with Leon, Super Tyrant. So, and same thing with Claire. You know, so you only really need to have 2 ink ribbons in your inventory between the very start of the game and that final save point. So you don't need to grab any more than 2. And then when you get to the last save, just save. Anyway, but now we're waiting for Ada.
Leon, up here.
What the hell was...
Just get up here. Can't say I didn't warn you.
You said the virus turned people into monsters, not reptiles.
Fair point. I'm just impressed you made it in one piece.
So let me get this straight. Umbrella sells monsters like that to who? Our military? Somebody else's?
They don't sell the monsters. They sell the viruses that make them. And Annette is who makes the viruses. Scary as that alligator was, Annette is far more dangerous.
Now time for the Ada section.
You can run, Annette, but you can't hide. It's secret weapon time. Candy from a baby.
Alright, now, I'm trying to cut his leg off. Because I know, as we've seen throughout so far with me knifing, if I just shoot him in the head and knock him out, he'll probably come back. But at least if I take off his leg, he won't be able to exit the room. Which is really all that we need, is just him to not be able to exit the room. because now the rest of the zombies are going to follow us to where we need to go to make that little tiny little elevator that we just passed work. So now all the zombies are going to follow us here, and they're going to group up enough to where we can use a flashbang that we're about to grab here in a second. And then we can flash him and just go on our merry way. That's the only danger we have, and it's very easy to avoid. So just whip out your pistol, grab the flashbang, pistol whip out, stun his leg, run right past him, and whip out your flashbang. And there you are. There's no danger from this point forward with Ada. So you can just pull out your EMF and get going. Because you are going to need it to finish off this section, obviously.
Got you now. Always been good at running, Annette. I'll give you that. Bravo. Gonna burn me alive now?
You'll never get your filthy hands on the G.
I'm not the only one after it. You realize that?
And you won't die alone.
Knows what she's doing.
And there we are. Ada's section is basically done.
Visitor clearance confirmed. Your ID
So
is
woohoo, yay
authorized
for that.
Until October 1st. Please return before this date.
Not gonna happen.
Ada? Where are you?
Yeah, again, we should have quite a while ago been prioritizing using the shotgun. Because honestly, down here, there's really not many zombies. There's, I think, 3 in this upcoming section. There's just one hanging. Yeah, I think there's 3. And then when we hop down and get to the save room, there's like 3 down there, so that's 6. So there's like 7 zombies total down
That's
here,
a pleasant smell.
if my math is right. Oh no, I think 8. 7 or 8. Oh wait, no, because the 3 that I'm thinking... 8. 8 zombies, sorry. So yeah, it should be, unless I'm, again, feel free to count on the video here, if in case I'm wrong, but thinking about it, it should be 8 zombies. There's 8 zombies down here. So that should be 8 shotgun shots. Alright? 8 shotgun shots. If you get headshots, which should be very easy to do. Okay, there's one right here. And then there's 2 more zombies up ahead that are down that will activate when you come back here later. And then there's another one across the bridge. So that's 4. And then 5, 6, yeah, 8. 8 total. And then after that, all you have to really worry about is the G's in which you will be using the Magnum for. Because yes, you will have plenty of Magnum ammo, don't worry about it. So just in the sewers alone, because if we go by what the screenshot and the little clip I showed earlier with, you know, you'd have 28 extra shotgun shells, at least. That's assuming I didn't leave any in the item box, which I'm pretty sure I didn't. You know, so yeah, exactly like this, just pop them in the head. So that would mean that would be 8 of those 28 shotgun shells extra would be used here in the sewer. And then you would only really use, I think, about 4 shotgun shells on zombies in Nest, which I actually used. I actually used the shotgun for all of Nest. Didn't use the pistol at all. So we don't even need to really worry about Nest. So yeah, if you start using the shotgun and use it accurately, towards the end of RPD, you should have enough shotgun shells to go through the whole rest of the game, taking out the zombies just fine, and then using the Magnum when you need to. Should not be an issue at all. And yeah, as you saw earlier, before I hopped down here, I grabbed the spare knife so I could do exactly that, because I'm not going to kill that thing, because there's no reason for us to come back this way, and that way I don't get rid of my infinite knife, which honestly I could have
Cable car.
by now, because we're not really going to use it at all the rest of the game. Well, we shouldn't if we were using the shotgun. I think up here I decided to use my pistol again, and then stab something, which I didn't need to. More shotgun shells.
Where'd she go?
There should be Magnum ammo in here, which, you know, is always nice. Nice.
I'm coming, Ada.
Now I'm just adjusting my inventory to make sure that I'm not bringing more than I need. I was gonna say, oh no, I discarded that because I realized I didn't need that, but anyway. So. Alright, so we're gonna get the T-bar, and then we're gonna get our last and final shotgun upgrade, which is gonna come in handy. Which, this particular upgrade makes it easier for us to get headshots. Yeah, some zombies feel like they wobble more than others, and those are the ones that I struggle with. My aim is garbage. Yeah, and the code to the safe is on the side there. So you just do this, and there you go. Yep, see? Easy. Then there's another guy on the floor here. That I did not need to waste time knifing. Like I said, plenty of shotgun shells, should have just got his ass. Probably would have been smart to come down here before activating that switch, to be honest. Would have saved us probably a couple seconds. Since I had to come through here to get the key before I go back the other way anyway. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I believe I made a mistake with my inventory management right here. Well, not really, actually, because I'm going to discard the key. Yeah, never mind. Scratch that. Because I was still able to make it work. Yeah, just hug the left as much as you can as you go around. Okay. When we get to our next item box, we need to now get rid of the T-bar. Because that was something I didn't do throughout the entire sewer section, because we don't need it anymore. And I was really dumb to keep it. I don't know why I did. I think it's because I usually, like on easier difficulties, I go all the way around instead of backtracking, like you're going to see me do here in a little bit when we get back to the sewers. But, I don't know. Really don't know what I was thinking, but it is what it is. So I realized, though, I can't grab the film, so I just went and unlocked both of the doors so I could discard the key to grab the film, because I have to go to the photo room and develop the film in order to gain access to the hiding place that has the laser sight for the Magnum, which we really need. So this is probably slightly wasted time doing this, but it is what it is. Because now I can discard and go grab it. There's probably a way you could do this slightly differently to where you would have a space left over. Probably getting rid of my pistol would do it, because I'm pretty sure I still have my pistol, right? So, like I said, you don't really need it for the rest of the game. I should have just got rid of it. So, again, little things you can do to not make these little time wasters that I've been doing. Yeah. Alright, so now we're heading up to the RPD for the third and final time. If for whatever reason you realize there's something that you need that you have not gotten yet, this would be your last opportunity. Yeah, I really should have gotten rid of the T-bar. Yeah. I do go to both hiding places, even though it was probably not necessary, because I think I still had some fuel in my item box left over for the flamethrower, and we only need the fuel for G2 and G3. We're not going to use it for G4, or, well, I guess in Leon's case, Super Tyrant, sorry, and then G5 on the train. We won't need it. So you could probably honestly save time by not going to the second hiding place that you're going to see me do, to be perfectly honest with you. Because, the only real important thing that you need is going to be the laser sight for the mag. because we need that so we can focus shot faster, which is really important. But I decided to go and do it anyway. But yeah, here's a funny thing. There was a zombie that I left alive from earlier that I didn't kill, and I'm surprised he didn't grab me right here. Because I honestly completely forgot about him, and when I went in there and saw him, I was like, oh crap, because I thought I was about to get grabbed. And to my utter shock and surprise, I didn't, which, you know what? Sweet. But yeah, I would probably suggest instead of going here to grab the other secret hiding place, which is just flamethrower ammo, I would just go back down. Like I said, if memory serves, which we will double check here when we get to the end anyway, I'm pretty sure we have extra fuel that we didn't use anyway. So, again, doesn't matter. And even if you guys use the, extra shotgun shells, because you've seen me use some shotgun shells here, in the sewer. You're going to see me use the shotgun pretty much exclusively for Nest, like the rest of the game. And I'll still have 28. So like I said, you should be able to use your shotgun a little bit more in earlier sections of RPD and be relatively okay. And then, like I said, so you should, if you absolutely needed to, if you ran a little low on shotgun ammo late game, you could, or flamethrower fuel, sorry, you would just probably pop in like a extra mag shot on G3 and you'd probably be fine. Because like I said, by the time you get to the train, you should still have probably still a little bit of excess shotgun ammo to make up for any deficiency you have in your Magnum, because I only walked in with 7 shots. So, again, which is fine. Hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. Like, you can be a little bit more, in certain situations, sparing or liberal with the Magnum. A little bit. Not by much, but a little bit. And with the shotgun, you can be fairly liberal. Yeah. I should have gotten rid of the T-bar, because I'm going to end up discarding, I think, 1 Magnum. Is it 1 Magnum or 1 shotgun shell? I think it's 1 Magnum. No, I think it's 1 shotgun shell that I would discard, because I didn't have the space to grab the last plug. Because I kept the knife and I kept the T-bar when I really didn't need to. Yeah, I think it's this right here. Yeah. So technically, if I actually grabbed it, then I would have had like 29 shotgun shells extra than 28 at the end. So,
Oh my god, this is getting worse.
I was trying to get around him and failed, and then I think I missed this shot. Oh no, I didn't. Yeah. I specifically bought a GRB, so that way if I get grabbed by being an idiot, which I'm pretty sure I do right here, that I would be okay. Like, I would have extra health and defense, and I wouldn't get poisoned. That still takes a fair amount of damage, but yeah, I missed right there. Surprised I didn't miss that one. And I didn't want to get rid of my infinite knife because I thought I might use it later. I did not. Not to my knowledge, anyway. So, if you need to get rid of it, you can right there. That's fine. Yeah, I've wasted, I think, a couple shots there because I missed. So in theory, if you're a better aim than me, you should have more mag ammo. But that zombie's dead. You got him right in the head. We don't need to kill that guy. He's unless you get very terrible RNG, which I guess in theory is possible. Because we killed the other two, you should be able to basically just run back. Like, you should be just fine to run back after you get the plugs and the flamethrower, no problem. I'm killing all the zombies so I don't have to deal with them, because they're dormant right now, so easy one taps. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, now we got the flamethrower. And here's kind of where the realization kicked in. I was like, oh shit. Where's the... Did I just discard the shotgun ammo too? I think I did. And now I discard one mag shot. Again. Which I wouldn't have needed to do had I got rid of the T-bar. Because again, I don't need it. I don't know why I brought it with me. That was just me being stupid. Which granted, we ultimately didn't need that mag shot, but still. Because that would have just been one extra mag shot I would have brought into the G fight on the train, and which either would have killed him outright or I only would have needed one shotgun shell. So if you can save that mag round, which again, you don't, like I said, you don't have to, but if you ended up doing that, then that would in theory result you needing to use one less shotgun shell, which if you combine that with the other shotgun shell that I picked up a little bit ago that I've already forgotten if I discarded or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Is it obvious I don't do scripts for these? I just go, let's see what happens and try to have fun with it? Is it obvious? It probably is. But you know what? We're here for a good time. But alright, now we are going to save. We're gonna open the door to the G2 boss fight. And once we open it, we're gonna orient our gear and then we're going to save. Yeah, like this side, it should go from left to right, knight, rook, pawn. And then from the other side, starting right there, it should be king, bishop, queen, I believe. Yeah. Putting the queen part right there, and then the bishop in the middle. Alright. And now it's time to save.
Okay. Almost there, Ada.
I do bring in one flashbang, because the only thing you really need for this fight is one flashbang, because the second flashbang you'll use will be provided in the fight. So if you can just bring in one flashbang, your flamethrower, and that's it. And then a heal if you need it. But right now you should be saving. Because since now we're not in the baby G section where they could grab you and poison you, I try to, from this point forward, not to use the GRBs until I absolutely have to later in the game, like when I either don't have anything else or when I'm in the very, very late game in the final boss fights where that extra defense could come in handy. Because this fight is pretty easy to not get hit, to be honest. It's really easy. Alright. Now if you stand here, you should, for the most part, actually pretty much entirely, if you have it just right, be completely safe. And if you hit him with the flamethrower while he's doing this, it'll do a little bit of damage. I wouldn't go below 386. But because of how the flamethrower is, you know, if I tapped it again, I would. Because you still want to make sure that when you stun him, when we get to the actual arena, you can just unload on him. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to use so much here at this beginning that you don't have enough to get him downed.
It's still alive?
So just run all the way. So now you want to prepare this thing, so send it back. Flash him. And flame him. Yeah, like when he screams, stop, grab a couple things, so that way the residual fire damage can kind of kick in. And then just unload on him until you get down to about 100. I would stop it either at about 100 or maybe just under like I did, but you want to be at about 100 and then flash him. Actually, you probably don't even need to flash him. That's just the safe way to do it. And then see, now he's down, you can just unload on him. And now you've done more than enough damage to where he needs to be hit with that only once. And there you go. As evident by the achievement. So very easy to do. You could, in theory, if you really know what you're doing and if you're confident with your dodging skills, you could probably easily just not flash him at all, or only flash him once and save a flashbang. So that is a viable option, but as you're going to see, you're not going to need the extra flashbang, even though it might help for Super Tyrant. It's not necessary. So you can go ahead and do that. So now what I do right here is I get myself ready so that way I don't have to go to the item box at Nest. It's right here, put everything away, get situated so I can start doing all the things that I need to do immediately at Nest. I keep the infinite knife, which I really didn't need to do. I grab my shotgun as I should. I decide to reload the flamethrower as you do. Honestly, you realistically only need that's all the flamethrower fuel that you really need, because the Magnum in G3 is going to do so much damage, especially if you do it in a way where like you have to do 2 rounds of you shooting his eyes, getting him on his knees where he has the little eyeballs in his chest pop out, set him on fire. Then he stands back up, you shoot his eyeballs again to stun him, and then you set him on fire again when the little chest eyes come out. If you do that twice, which would basically constitute just a... how many eyes does he have? He has the one on his shoulder, one on his leg, and one on his back. I think he's got like 3 or 4. That would be about like, what, 6 to 8 mag shots, assuming you don't miss. And then the 2 times that he's down, you'd use, I would say, a little under 200 fuel each, I would say. And then when he gets up and he gets in his final phase and he tries to throw that big thing, you could just unload the rest of your flamethrower fuel. And honestly, that's not going to be enough. I think I said earlier, not thinking that like that's enough flamethrower fuel. It's not. If you want to bring a little extra, that would definitely do it, because what I ended up doing, I think I pulled out my shotgun and popped off a couple shots, and then that finished him off. There's either that or my Magnum. You'll see here in a little bit. So, but if you bring a little bit more flamethrower fuel, you could finish him off, but it's not necessary.
Welcome to Nest. Enjoy your visit.
Alright. So when we get in here, just immediately go and grab the grenade, and then hug the left wall. I think there's another item like right here. More flamethrower fuel, case in point, so you could bring that into the, you know, fight, which honestly you probably should. Would probably save you some shotgun shells and stuff that I ended up wasting in that fight, I think. It was either that or the mag. But yeah, very easy to get around them. I grabbed the gunpowder that I ultimately did not use. The only gunpowder that I used at all this entire playthrough was the high grade. Everything else I didn't craft at all. I just used what I found in the world. I only crafted mag ammo. So with that being said, if you do try and grab everything like I did, you can, in theory, craft more ammo. Probably not shotgun shells, because like I said, I put it all into mag ammo. But you could create pistol ammo if you absolutely needed it, but if you shouldn't. So realistically, you would probably save time and inventory space not grabbing gunpowders like I did. Because like I said, I saved quite a bit of ammo just relying on high caliber guns to shoot headshots for the zombies early game, and then my infinite knife to kill them without having to waste more ammo. So you don't even really need to grab the gunpowder. So that would save you time on inventory management, not grabbing stuff. And I didn't grab any of the knives, I don't think. I don't think I grabbed a single combat knife, because I had the infinite. Well, except for the one, because I knew I needed it for that baby G that was gonna grab me. That you saw, but aside from that. So gunpowder you don't need to grab, knives you don't necessarily need to grab. And everything else, I mean, couldn't hurt. Like, obviously heals if you need them. Yeah, I went back here to make sure that I could grab the flamethrower part, which would, you know, just makes it better. And then, of course, since I knew I was going to do that, I might as well grab the other hip pouch. Alright, with these guys, I just stun them. I mean, you don't need to this time. If you run straight through, you should be fine. But just one shot with the shotgun, especially if you hit the pustules, will stun them. Yeah, and I just put in the 2 codes.
Dispense.
Getting really close to the end, guys. I'm cutting it super close, and you can tell by the fact I'm pausing so much. And you'll see me check the time constantly. But anyway, yeah, the solution for this is BRG. Just do that repeatedly.
Manual mode.
In,
Engage.
yeah, in
Adjust and
scenario A, it's
solution to match cartridge
RGB.
capacity.
But for scenario B, what we're doing, we're BRG. But at least it's nice that once you know what your starting position is, you just need to go left to right. Or right to left, you know what I meant. Just... Anyway, we got our solution. Yeah. Just over 15 minutes left to do everything up to the train fight, which it isn't exactly easy. And like I said, you guys know that, because like I said at the very beginning of the video, I failed, but you'll see by how little. Alright. And you can just run. You should be plenty fast enough to avoid the liquor that's gonna spawn. But I decided to take a quick trip to the item box because I knew that I'm not going to come back this way. So I wanted to just, make more mag ammo and grab everything I needed except for the combat knife, which I knew I wasn't going to need. I don't know why I put away the shotgun shells. Honestly, I think it's because I knew deep down I don't think I was going to need them. If that makes any... Yep, more flamethrower fuel. There you go. Yeah. This might have been a little stupid in the sense of, like, I basically got rid of all my shotgun shells, but had I, towards the end of the section, missed a shot or two, and I would have got myself empty, that would have been a really bad scenario. So, like, I was arguably being a touch risky, but like I said, I had enough confidence to where I could do it. Either that or I just wasn't thinking at the time, but I pulled it off, so it ended up being plenty fine.
Cooling complete.
So now we're running back up to dispense the solution, and we're trying to haul ass with our very, very little time frame. And I decided to walk at the start till I got a touch closer, just in case the liquor got on my ass. But since we've cleared out that entire area, we even went to the save room and cleared that out, there's no point for us to come back down here, like, at all. Like, I think I missed some large gunpowder when I was climbing down the ladder earlier from the plant room. But like I said, we haven't used any of the regular gunpowder at all this entire run. So, it's not even worth grabbing anyway. and unless you made some very huge fuck ups and you end up needing it, but by that point you might have lost your run anyway. So no point in grabbing it. Like, the main thing you should really only grab, like I said, is high-grade gunpowder, because you're only going to be crafting mag shots. Self-defense weapons of all kinds, except for the knife. Well, I should have just said grenades, because the knife's the only self-defense weapon that's not a grenade. So you pick up ammo, high-grade gunpowder,
That did the trick.
and grenades. And a bar and heals, obviously. Aside from that, don't pick up shit. Well, and quest items, but that's a given. And you do that, you should, for the most part, have some relatively decent inventory management, because like I said, you won't need gunpowder. This guide, even though it's mostly a failure, should kind of prove that you don't need it. But the thing is, this plant room is a bit RNG. I need to preface that, which is why it was probably bold of me to not bring extra ammo in case they spawned or fell in such a way when I grabbed the ID badge. Yeah, and obviously like that. I didn't hit a pustule, so he didn't get stunned. A mag would have been a guaranteed stun, but I didn't think I needed it. And I knew by this point, because the entire rest of the game is basically, you know, boss fights, aside from little plant dudes here at the very end, getting the Super Tyrant, which I already knew how I was going to take care of those. As you'll see, I knew I didn't need the knife, so I was comfortable enough to let go of my infinite knife right there, knowing that I didn't have any other knives in my inventory. So it's completely okay.
Hopefully the G sample's up here.
I was slowly accepting by this point that I wasn't going to make it. Because even if I did these fights flawlessly, which I knew wasn't going to happen, with my aim and everything, that I would have just barely missed it anyway. I kind of was at the point where I was just committing to the run, because I was already so far at the end. Figured might as well. Yeah, you can tell I was nervous, be doing those really quick pauses to check. Like, it's kind of funny watching it back.
All right, now back to Ada.
Alright, back to Ada. Damn straight.
Attention, unauthorized removal of a
All right.
level 4 virus detected. Facility locked.
I decided against grabbing it because I was like, I think I have enough heals. But anyway, so I got rid of everything, and I knew that I needed to bring the flamethrower. I knew I was gonna save. And I put away the wristband on accident, which kind of threw me off a little bit. Then I brought in the mag. I saw the high-grade gunpowder and went, ooh, I need to, like, you know, craft that.
Self-destruct sequence.
I want to point out that I probably should have just merged the two, Magnum ammos together, but I was going to use enough to where it didn't matter. It was going to go back down to one anyway. But you will see that I just barely don't have enough flamethrower fuel to finish the fight, and I will end up resorting to the mag at the very end, which again is fine. I already kind of fucked up. I mean, to be honest, if you want to do it very safely, you probably should be baiting him to do an over-the-head slam, so that way you can get a safe hit on the eye. But again, my aim is also not very great, as you can see. Yeah. And now he's gonna come over here, thankfully. I can't fully predict what he's going to do, obviously. You're gonna just have, that's why I saved right before the fight. But anyway, now if you just unload onto him the best that you can, you will use up a little under, about 100, a little under 150 each go. And now he's gonna get back up, do the same thing, shoot him in the eyes. Oop. One more eye will do it. Yeah, that was me being an idiot. I couldn't figure out what I needed to do. But yeah, bait an attack like that out, and then pop him in the eye. And then like this. And now by the time he gets up, you should have done enough damage to where he will go in and try to grab the big thing in the center and slam it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I tried to move out of the way and reload, which ended up being a good decision on my mag. But yeah, I saw this and went, okay, I can just unload onto him. And then when I finished up all of my flamethrower shots, I realized, oh, he's not dead. Like I was expecting. To which I panicked and went, oh shit. And one mag shot would have done it. And to be honest, there's a slight chance that the residual fire that was still on him, that was still doing damage, might have killed him. But obviously, when you're in that situation like I was, I didn't want to take a chance. So, if there was a little... So if I brought in that extra fuel that I had, that would have been fine. So, realistically, you don't really need a whole lot of mag shots unless you miss. Like even with me missing, I'm still fine on mag ammo, so... But you won't be using the flamethrower. That's what I'm saying, is bring all your flamethrower ammo, which I failed to do, into that fight. Because you were going to use all of it. Because you only use the mag to pop the eyes to get him down. And then after that, you just unload the flamethrower once the eye popping section is done. And then after that, your flamethrower, you can get rid of it. Because you won't need it. Because you will only need the mag and grenades for the rest of the game. As you will see. Yeah, I'm getting more and more nervous with each passing second at this point, like I was. But yeah, like I said, G3 will be easy. Pop his eyes, get him down, flamethrower him, do that twice, and once you get him down on his knees the second time, just use the flamethrower for the whole rest of the fight. That's all you need. Very easy. So this is the final save point. This is where we're going to use our last save. And like I said, there's a save ribbon right there, so... That's why I'm saying you only need to grab 2 prior to this, and you'll be fine. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and pop some mag shots to get guaranteed stuns on these plants, so that way we can just run through. Again, we have more than enough mag ammo to where we can do this. And just one shot, pop, get him a stun. Another stun. And now we just run on through. Get Mr. X to spawn.
Is this a fucking joke?
And just run around him. Easy as hell. And just go, go, go.
Until detonation.
Yeah. So now we're at the point where, like, you want to bring in the mag and all of your grenades. That is all that you need. Yeah, I'm making more mag ammo because I realized I could. Again, I did the same thing where I didn't merge my mag ammo, being, you know, I could have probably brought something else into the fight, but it doesn't matter. Because you're obviously going to have enough for the RPG, because you have to bring... Yeah, so... And try your best to... With the frag grenades, try your best to land them in front of him so it makes him take a step back, so that way you can keep distance. I was kind of failing at that, because I don't really use grenades that much when I play normally. I think I only ever use grenades when I'm doing S+ runs, so I never myself properly figure them out. That one was too early, because he was still stunned, and you can't stun him in mid-stun, so that was me using a grenade way too early. And now I'm trying to stun him again. He was already in the air. Alright, now I have 2 flashbangs. I need to save one for when the RPG spawns. So now I can... So I've used this one to try and get some free shots on him. And then I was about to use another one, then I realized, oh shit, that says 1. I can't, because I wasn't paying attention before. Thankfully, unlike in my other guides in Scenario A, where we don't use the mag at all, the mag actually is capable of stunning him when he goes into that animation where he's about to do the insta-kill attack if you don't dodge it. So at least we have a way without flashbangs to actually prevent that, so it's not so difficult without flashbangs. So like this version of the fight, because of that, felt so much easier. And then just grab the RPG, attack him twice, there you go. And as you can see, I had less than a minute to get to the train and do the fight. So this was when I knew definitively, yeah, I'm not making it. But I was already right here at the end, I figured might as well.
Detonation.
Yeah. So I kept the RPG, I kept the mag, as you do. I had 7 shots left, didn't have any more ammo. But as you can see, I'm bringing in the shotgun as well, just in case. But as you can see, I still had some fuel left in there. I'm pretty sure. It went by really fast. Hold on a second. Sorry, I stopped the commentary for just a second to go back and double check. But yeah, I still had 300 fuel left that I could have used for G3. So I wouldn't have needed to use the extra mag shots that I did. And I probably didn't need to go and get the 200 fuel, I think it was, from the secret hiding spot. If you want to get it, you can, but I don't think you need to. I think you'll have just enough. And if not, you can use a mag if it's absolutely necessary, like I did. But anyway, yeah, I don't shoot. I just wait until his eye opens, because from my understanding, he takes exponentially more damage the closer he gets. And once his eye is open, that's when he takes the most damage, so I just unload on him. Fire off my 1 shot, unload my magnum, and then reload my shotgun because I thought I might need to, and then 2 shotgun shots. Yep. And there you go. It's at the end. 2 hours, 51 seconds. If I was 52 seconds faster, because I don't think it'll give you an S+ if you hit 2 hours exactly. I think you have to be like at 1 hour 59. So like 52 seconds faster, I would have got it. So, but anyway, with that, that's it. I've went over it. I was so close. And with the explanations I gave over where my mess ups were, that should be plenty for you to correct, and you should be able to do it. Granted, by the skin of your teeth, but you should do it. I'm not going to record my proper attempt that I'm going to do pretty soon, because I feel like it's going to be similar enough to this where it won't matter. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.